Names and locations have been altered and protected to protect the innocent, but not the turkeys.
We got in about 4 o'clock. It was a little late, but we saw a lot of turkeys herd, and that was encouraging. It wound up seeing a total of 5 gobblers and 3 hens. It took about 15 minutes, and I waited for one to isolate itself. I didn't want to shoot more than one, and made a good shot.
Very good. Now we're going to take you from the harvester to the harvested, and we're going to show you how to prepare this bird. He's fresh out of the field. We're going to show you how to take him from here all the way to the grill, because that's how we like them. I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of different ways to do it. We're just going to show you our way. It's easy, it's quick, and it tastes pretty darn good. All right, back to the harvested. All right, if you watch, first thing we do, we take the beard, we come in, we get our fingers behind the beard so that we know we're not cutting into it, and we remove the beard in case you want it later. Most people like to keep the beard as a trophy. We do too. This one was 11.5 inches. All right, the next thing we do is fill back where we just made the cut on the beard. Now, you can use your fingers or you can use the knife. In this case, we're just going to use our fingers. We work our fingers in and we pull the skin of the bird back to expose this good breast meat. So we had one little slice up front. Now we can use our fingers. These turkeys aren't that tough. And we can pull, and this bird's still pretty warm, so it shouldn't be too hard to get this skin back. And if it gets hard, you can always come back and use your knife. We want to expose the skin all the way to the back of the breast. Now, I like to take the legs and really spread the legs to the point that I feel them dislocate. That sounds gross, and it pretty much is. However, it opens this bird up. I'm going to try not to get these feathers all over. We're going to clean that later. It opens this bird up where we can really get in him to work. Now, you're going to get some feathers on you. Part of the deal, and you're going to get some feathers on the meat. That's part of the deal. They'll always wash off. Alright, what we're looking at here is this bird's crop, and what we always like to do is put a hole in the crop, and let's see what he's been feeding on. This is the management minute. Now, as you can see, inside this bird's crop, you've got some immature chufa nuts. Looks gross, so we want to keep that off, but you know, he'll eat this. Birds take in a little grit, and that grit helps grind it. Alright, back to the bird. Once we get the skin back, feathers off, all the way around this breast, we got the crop loosened up from the breast itself. We want to go in on the inside and kind of pull that crop loose and back so that when it starts to come, it comes on. We want to take it out clean. Now, of course, because we're filming, I won't make a clean cut, but I'm going to try. As much as you can use your fingers, because you risk cutting a little meat where if you use your fingers, you don't. Alright. Alright, we want to take our knife and drop it right in against this breastbone. And we want to follow the breastbone as close to as we can, because that's all good breast meat. It doesn't get any better than that in wildlife. And we want to come all the way to the point of the breast. We want to make sure that we got all the crop off, and that'll come off when we go to pull it out. And we want to make sure we've come all the way down to the point of this breast. we had to change angles a little bit so we could show you this, and feathers are always wanting to go in, get in your way. Alright, at that point we just follow the bone structure, let your knife work through, follow this bone structure. We're going to try not to leave any meat. I'm not the best knife man, so bear with me. We're going to try not to leave any of this excellent white meat. Helps to have a good sharp knife. You can always come back and get these strips later because that's how we're going to serve it. But we're just following right up against the bone. All that yellow you see in there is good, nice fat, which tells us this bird's been eating pretty good. Once we follow the contour of those bones, we'll come in where this breast is attached, ease it out very gently. Cut that last remaining little tendon. And this ought to lift right on out for us, which it did. And there you have a nice fillet, stray pellet. Always watch that when you're eating a bird. Watch it when you're cleaning it, and that matters. That is a nice 3 pounds of all white meat, which we put in our bucket. There's always a little residue left over of some good tender breast meat. Throw those in our pot. We'll come over to this other side. We may have to relocate the camera over to this side. And I'll turn our bird so that we're coming from here. And we'll start again. We'll drop down at the point of the breastbone. We'll cut till we feel breastbone. We'll follow the curve of the breastbone. We'll have to turn again. Y'all bear with us. I'm going to cut that all the way to the point. If you cut too far, you'll start getting into intestines. When that happens, you know you're getting too far. See, when you breast one out, it's a lot easier and quicker, and there's a lot of people who disagree with me. Y'all don't hesitate to let me know it, but for me, the legs on a wild turkey, I'd rather feed wildlife with it or throw it to these dogs. Honestly, there's so many tendons that it's just a lot more work, and the meat's not too good on the legs to me. I know there's different preps, but the way we're going to prepare this, more power to people who save and harvest the legs, but for me, it's the breast. I'll cut loose of that fat. Just heard another shot. Like somebody else may have been successful this evening as well. And there's our other breast. A good 3 pounds of meat. You got a little bloodshot there. When we start to prepare, we're going to wash all that out, and we'll cut any of that that's bloodshot like this. We'll cut that out of the meat. I'll take what I can now, if we can get that off. Anything that's bloodshot, because that's not going to taste good when you start utilizing it. The rest of that we can wash and cut when we start to prepare for the grill. Alright, wipe off our blade, and then we'll come back. Now, most people when they kill a turkey, something that everybody likes to take the fan. So we'll turn our buddy the turkey over. We'll feel to the base of this fan, and you can feel it. It's like a little joint where that fan's at. Now some people like to keep all this up through here. For a mount, we're not going to. We're just going to keep the fan. So for keeping the fan, we're going to come right here to the base of the tail. Once we get to the base of the tail, I'm going to feel for, there's a notch. You'll feel the ends of the feathers, and then you'll feel where they separate. Where they separate, take your knife and start cutting right there at the separation. As you pull, you'll feel that butt of your fan come loose. Now you can always use a turkey fan, whether you're fanning for a bird, or you're using it for a mount, or you're just going to put it on your wall, or you're using it on your decoy. You can always use a turkey fan, so always take your turkey fan with you. That'll have to be spread out. We like to spread them out and salt the end of it so it doesn't rot. So you can see how beautiful the turkey fan is. You can see that iridescence through the feathers. Beautiful. Now, the other thing, this bird was 11.5 inch beard. We know he's over 3, probably a 3-year-old bird, possibly 4. These spurs, we get a close-up. Spurs, sharp, 1.25 inches. All right. On the spurs, a lot of people like to keep them, again, for a mount. We like to keep them. A lot of times we'll spread the toes so it dries with the toes out so you can just stand them up. But the way we do it, and I'm sure there's a lot of ways to do it, the way we do it, we come to this joint. We do these last because you're going to need a sharp knife when you do these. Bend it against the angle it's bending. You'll feel where the joint is. When you feel where the joint is, let your knife sink in at the joint. Then you can pop that backwards. After you pop it, you just take your knife, cut through. You got a nice spur and a nice leg. We'll do the same thing on this other. And again, I hate to leave the meat that's on these drumsticks, but to me, effort to table, it's not worth it. But everybody's different. All right, we'll turn these. We'll feel for our joint. As soon as we feel our joint, we'll make a cut right in the joint. As soon as we get right in the joint. As soon as we get right in the joint, then we'll bend it against the joint. Then we'll take our knife. We'll go through right there at the joint. It's just about that easy. We got a nice 1.25 inch spur there. Now, some people like to harvest a wing off a turkey. Some people, we've used these for feathers. All right, on our bows, for our traditional bows, we've made feathers out of them. Some people like to use them in a mount, so they take the whole wing. You can use these wing bones to make a wing bone call. All right, now these feathers, depending on which way they curve, that's what gave you the left and right helical to the feather. Left wing, left helical, right wing, right helical. But another thing you can do, you can come to the end of this, take this last joint of the wing. A lot of people like to pack those in a pack. I'll show you how you can harvest it. You just come in between the two. You pull it back when you get to the end. You're going to have a joint there. You find the joint with your knife. You work through the joint. Now sometimes that joint gets a little tough. You work through the joint. There he is. Now, you gotta cut through. Turkey's a tough guy. He's got some tough ligaments, tough tendons holding those wings on. You can twist. You get to that point. If he's giving you trouble like this one is me, and you can just come through. Now you got that last joint of the wing. Now you can use that wing on a mount if you wanted to. You can use it for a fly down cackle. You can also take it and rustle leaves, oak leaves. Back up these, like a bird scratching. And dogs, like everything else. So you can make a good scratching noise with that. and you can make a good fly out noise with that. However, if you're carrying these through the woods, make sure you mark them or it's deep down in your pack, because some people see turkey colors, get a little careless. Alright, we'll be back with our third part of this bird from field to table, which is going to be processing those nice breasts, marinating them, throwing them on a hot grill. Thank you.